A new 3-digit phone number, 988, launched nationwide last Saturday. It can be used to text or call in a mental health crisis emergency. Now, different states are utilizing 988 in different ways. Oklahoma's has actually been in service since July 5th. Kennedy Sepulvedo reports on how it works.
The campus is quiet as the summer semester nears its end. The Bizzell Memorial Library is nearly empty, but in the back corner, senior Carly Vargas is preparing for an upcoming test.
I was expected to be graduated within 4 years.
However, that isn't what happened.
Back in 2020, I was having a really great life. Everything was going fine. I was making straight A's in my classes. I had an internship with the OKC Thunder, best time of my life. Then COVID came around March of 2020 and completely ruined my life.
She lost the internship, all sources of income, and had to move back in with her parents.
I fell into a really depressive state where I developed an eating disorder and actually lost 60 pounds within 3 months. And I didn't realize it was an issue because every time I tried to tell my mom, she was just like, "Oh, you're finally being healthy," when I was not. Then on September 26th of 2020, I attempted to take my own life.
She was in and out of a behavioral health hospital for about a year and finally received the help she needed.
I got diagnosed with some major depressive disorder. I got diagnosed with schizoaffective disorder, bipolar type, which is basically schizophrenia with a mood disorder present. A lot of people, it probably would have been overwhelming to be diagnosed with all those things, but I felt like I finally had answers.
Now, Carly advocates for mental health.
I've had multiple people since I posted about my story come out and reach out to me saying, "Hey, you helped save me. You helped me realize that life is actually worth living. And if it weren't for you sharing your story, I probably would have attempted to kill myself by now."
Other advocates took an issue to Congress. The 11-digit National Suicide Prevention Hotline number, 1-800-273-8255, needed to be easier to remember. The new 988 number was designated by Congress in 2020 to launch nationally on July 16, 2022. Here in Oklahoma, the Oklahoma Department of Mental Health and Substance Abuse teamed up with Arizona-based call center Solari and launched the 988 number on July 5th and has already received over 700 calls. Now that 3-digit number is a lot easier to remember, but that 1-800 number still works. It will direct you to the same line that the 988 number will direct you to.
988, how may I help you?
One of the barriers to people accessing care has been a worry about where to call, when to call, and who to call. 911 has typically been that resource in the past for many individuals that they're familiar with, but in some cases, families might be reluctant to do that.
988 calls are answered by behavioral health specialists that go through rigorous training to understand how to assess the situation and utilize technology to ensure a quick response or access to needed resources.
Do a lot of role plays and mock calls where we kind of put them in a variety of different scenarios in a safe situation, not on a live call, to make sure that they're feeling prepared and ready to respond.
80% of the calls or more are going to be handled on that phone call. They're going to be able to address needs, link people to those resources in their community. But when we need more, the 988 dispatcher is able to call out our mobile crisis services or other services that might be available and really make that link for individuals in need.
Mobile crisis units are set up through a third-party transportation service rather than in the back of a police car,
which is typically how people in crisis were getting to treatment services before. As you can imagine, the back of a police car is not the best place to be in the middle of a mental health crisis.
Also, the number of urgent care centers has increased throughout the state.
These are 24-hour de-escalation centers that are able to get people back into the community quicker. It can also lead to somebody moving on to a higher level of care, such as crisis centers, which are other services that we've been able to expand throughout the state.
What might be a crisis to me may not be to you, but that's all right. We want to encourage folks to call and get the support that they need and let them know that there's not going to be any judgment on the other end of the line or the text.
According to the Substance Abuse and Mental Health Services Administration, suicide is the leading cause of death for Americans ages 10 to 34. In 2020, it is estimated one person died by suicide every 11 minutes in the United States. 988 doesn't just assist people having mental health crises. People can call before a crisis hits. Plus, domestic violence victims can receive helpful resources too. All this to help people like Carly, who, with the resources she needs, is working through her mental health.
I like referring to mental health as seeds. Like, if you tell yourself you're beautiful, you'll plant the seed that makes you think you're beautiful. You're not going to turn around and think you're beautiful the next day. It could take weeks, years, months. It could take forever for those flowers to blossom, but it's important that you continue to take care of them and nurture them. That way you can one day believe what you think.
Kennedy Sepulveda, the Oklahoma News Report.